Hey guys, it's Julia, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 book series that I really want to finish. I am really bad about starting a series and then going back and reading the next book way into the future. Normally, like when I first started reading books, that was not the case at all. Like if I read the first book, I wanted to finish the series before I read the rest of the books. But now I'm like, there's so many different books that I know about thanks to BookTube. And so I want to read newer books that are coming out and things like that. So I'll pick up the first book and I won't get around to reading the second book for quite some time. So I'm going to be talking about a few series that I really want to get around to finishing here in the next couple of months. So also one of that I'm going to talk about, the next book in the series isn't out yet, so that's why I haven't read it yet. Otherwise I would have definitely read it by now. But yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. The first series that I really want to finish is Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. This book I actually was not that fond of, and I ended up reading the second book, Rebel Spring, directly after reading this one, and I don't know what enticed me to do that, but I did end up reading the second one right after, and I loved the second book. I loved it way more than this. I think I gave the first one like a 2-star rating or a 2.5-star rating, and then I gave the second one a 5-star rating, which generally doesn't happen for me. Generally I like the first book better, and then they're just not as good as they go on. So this series was different for me, so I'm hoping that it's a series that just gets better as it goes, and I'm really excited to read the next one. I just haven't gotten around to it. The next series is Cinder, The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, and this one I was very hesitant to read. I had read it, a couple chapters of it, a couple times and just couldn't get into it, and then I read Heartless and hated it. So then after that I was like, oh, I'm just not gonna read this. But then a lot of people that have really similar taste in books as me on BookTube said that they just love this series. So I went ahead and gave it a try, and I read this one and adored it. I absolutely loved it. It was so good. I did read the second book right after I read the first book as well, which is Scarlet, and I really enjoyed that one as well. Not as much as this one, but I did really like it. So I do want to continue with the series, though. Cress, which is, I'm guessing, Rapunzel because of the cover. I haven't even read the back of the book yet, but I love Rapunzel. She's one of my favorite princesses, so I'm really excited to get to that one. I'm really excited to also read Marissa Meyer's new book that came out earlier this month, which is Renegades, and it just sounds amazing. So after reading this series, I was like, okay, I'm gonna definitely read some more Marissa Meyer, even though I wasn't a big fan of Heartless. Next is a series that I started at the beginning of this year, and I buddy read the first one and the second one with Elliot Brooks. I love this series, but it just is taking me a really long time to get through it, and that is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I read the whole I started A Court of Thorn and Roses after I started this series, and I finished that whole series by the time, obviously, that the third book came out. I finished that in a couple weeks after it came out, or I finished it the week after it came out. And so obviously I liked that series better because I read it super fast, but this one I still really enjoyed. It's still one of my favorite series, and I've read the first, second, and third books so far. I really want to get around to the next book soon because Tower of Dawn came out a couple months ago, and it's just very enticing to me because Chaol's my favorite character in the series. So I know that I need to finish all the other books in the series before I read that one. So I will be getting to that one here soon. The next book we want to talk about is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, and I've read the first and second book of this series and really enjoyed both of them. I liked the first one better, but there were some things about the second book that I liked better. But I would say that this one was my favorite out of the 2 books that I've read so far. But I've heard that the third one is really amazing, and that the second book kind of suffered from, middle book syndrome or whatever. And I'm excited to wrap up the series, but at the same time I think that I'm kind of not reading the last one in the series yet because I don't want it to end. But I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it soon. The last book is one one that the third book hasn't come out yet, which is why I haven't read it yet. And everybody is already going to know what this book is because it is one of my favorite books of all time, and that is Illuminae by Amy Hoffman and Jay Kristoff. The second one was really good too, and I read them in a matter of like 24 hours. They look like they're huge, but they're really just not. I mean, everybody knows that these books are like, you know, different in format. They're told through like emails and case files and such, and I loved that, and the audiobook was amazing. So the third one comes out in March, and it is called Obsidio, and it is just amazing. The cover is absolutely amazing too, which I'll place in here so you guys can see it because I just can't get over it. It's just perfect. So I believe that the way that the third one is going to work is it's going to kind of combine the characters from the first book and the second book into one book, because this book and Gemina were told from two different groups of characters. They were not the same characters in the first one as in the second one. So, I mean, it kind of drew these characters in there towards the end a little bit, but it wasn't like fully about these characters, which I loved both sets of characters. So, I'm really excited to see how this story wraps up because I'm pretty sure there's only 3 books in the series, and yeah, I'm gonna be like crazy when it comes out. Like, read it the same day it comes out, kind of crazy. So, I just noticed that I did read all of these. I did start all of these series this year. So I kind of went on, like when I first started BookTube, I read all of these, like as soon as the book came out, that's what I wanted to read. I wanted to read what was new. And then this year, I kind of went through this phase of I want to catch up on all the good series that I've missed. So I went back and picked out like all the ones that I heard on YouTube that have had a lot of hype around them and read those. And you know, BookTube's pretty smart when it comes to the hype. I mean, there are some books that I didn't agree with about the hype, like Six of Crows, but these ones I really did agree with the hype around them because I enjoyed all of these, and there are ones that I'm definitely going to finish here in the next couple months. So that is really it for this video. I would love to hear if you've read these series and if you have, what you thought of them, and also what series you would like to finish here in the next couple months. And yeah, if you like this video, please like and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!